May I now invite, firstly, Mr. Mohammed Noor.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all of you, to all our panelists and guests and our previous speakers. We are the most persecuted people and we are the floating people everywhere. It's us. They're talking about us. We became a state-sponsored victim of genocide in Burma, and which is ignored by the ASEAN countries. Today, we are talking about it while people are dying on the sea, while people floating, while people are rotting. The pictures that you have seen just now earlier from one of our speakers, we have managed to talk to them while they are on the boat. And we have spoken to them how long they have been on the sea and what they have been facing from the human traffickers, the rapes, and so on. Myanmar government or the Myanmar-sponsored media has managed to manipulate international media, calling Arakan state into a Rakhine state. Not only that, they also mention ethnic clashes, and they also mention communal violences. There is no such thing called communal violence. There is no such thing called ethnic clash. This is a one-sided attack, that the Rakhine are attacking Rohingya. There's no single Rakhine villages are burned. Their people are not floating on the sea, and they are not fleeing persecution. It is us, it is Rohingya who is fleeing persecution. It is us who is going through all this problem, which has been ignored, long ignored. They always refer, during our conversation in Jeddah also, one of the speakers asked me, how do you feel when Myanmaris or Myanmar Tansin told Rohingya that you are not a Myanmaris? Then I say, yes, we are not Myanmaris. We are Arkanis. It is not that way we went inside. It is not that we went to their house. It is they who went to our home. Rohingya is an indigenous people of Arakan state, Western Burma, which is today called Myanmar. They are Indo-Aryans and genealogically lineage of genetical racial mixture of Indian, that Arakan is facing from a, what do we call, power shift problem or global power problems. Arakan became geographically very important to many superpowers, and if you look at the map, if I may say, it is the only corridor or the only access to the Indian Ocean for the Chinese. Widely known, a Chokpi project called the Shui Gas project, which is started for the last 5 years until today, that the Chinese government been paying $1 billion every year for the next 30 years in Block A1 and Block A3. There are more than 15 oil blocks in Arakan. Interest, economical interest, been attached from different governments, from different nations, because they are hungry of resources. The word Rohingya, a lot of people ask this question, so we would like to also clarify from the Rohingya why there is a taboo to the Burmese government that the word Rohingya itself is not acceptable. I put it in a very simple form. My name is Mohammed Noor and my father's name is Noor Alam, and he inherits. It is not that he inherits, but he inherits a lot of wealth. And they simply asked me to change my father's name so that I don't get the inheritance. This is one of the reasons that do not accept Rohingya, and it is not a new word for them. Until 1982, they stripped the citizenship of Rohingya from, or delisted Rohingya from the minorities. Before than that, Rohingya was a recognized for almost 4 successive government recognize them as citizens of that country. It's only in 1982 they started, or they ripped off the citizenship due to many of the reasons. Geopolitical reason, the land that we are full of resources, gas and oil and many other natural resources. Because this is not research or on the resources, we have many facts which we're gonna later we're gonna leave this website where we have a lot of findings for a lot of audience and the speakers to go back to and to refer to the projects that has been carried out in Arakan, the projects that has been going on in Arakan, the money, the amount of money they are making while there is a persecution going on, while there is a crime against humanity. Burma has successfully outsourced their problems to the neighboring countries. If you do not realize it, today Malaysia have to use their own resources, Indonesia is using their own resources, and Thailand, they are using their own resources. And they're successfully transferring their Arakan problem into region. And until today, we are talking about non-interference. It is also against the ASEAN law in Article, if I'm not mistaken, Article 2, to maintain a regional peace and stability and to prosper the nation. And today, if you look at stakes of government, stakes of people that have been floating and creating a chaos in the region, government has not yet taken any measures or measurement to address the root cause rather than talking about the side effects such as the human trafficking and so on. As Rohingya, we always like to suggest to the governments, because government holds the power, government holds the key. If I may say, as Dr. Mahathir have mentioned today, and it's became already a headline in many of the newspapers, locally and internationally, to expel Burma from ASEAN countries, I would like to also add a few suggestions, if I may. Rather than expelling ASEAN, we could actually take the first step, withdrawing the Malaysian and Thai and Indonesian ambassador from their country. Or freeze the assets of these criminals who are hanging and shopping in US and in Singapore. Still, they are running, and while people are being killed, their amount and their account is still not been freezed, and they are still making money. Altogether boycott Myanmar current government. We have detected from our community, from our sources, last October, the mass grave about Thailand and Malaysia from last October. People talking about it now only. And it has been alerted to many authorities and many news agencies. Today in these countries, if human traffickers can kill and bury this much of mass graves, how can you imagine that Arakan has how many mass graves like this? So international investigation, it is necessary, and it is the time to intervene and look into the matter and see how to stop this. Thank you. I would like to finish my end notes. From a nation, we became a minority. From a minority, we became a stateless. From a stateless, we became a floating people. And we are Rohingya, and we need your help. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mohamed Noor, for that presentation.